Hi everybody, it's Chef Rob from the Kitchen and Market and Chef in Your Kitchen in my kitchen. Today I thought I'd share three of my favorite game day recipes. With the Super Bowl coming up, we got the NFL playoffs, we got hockey back going again. So I thought I'd share a few of my favorite ones for game day. So my first one I want to share with you guys is my baked beans. Few ingredients. It's a fairly simple recipe to put together, but it is absolutely awesome as an additional dish to game day and that. So hope you enjoy it. So let's start up here. So we're going to start with some beautiful smoked bacon picked up, of course, from the folks over at Charles Meat and that. Okay, so we want to just get our Dutch oven heated up on your oven there. Also, just set your stove, preheat your stove to 350, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with our bacon and that. And again, all the recipes are in the drop down. You'll see them all there with all the ingredients and stuff like that, okay? So let's start up with our bacon. So what we want to do is we want to sort of render out that bacon fat out of it, because that's really going to be what really adds a wonderful flavor to this, okay? So we're going to let that heat up, cook away. So while that's cooking, we are going to mix up the sauce, okay? Now, with the sauce, we're going to start off with my basic barbecue sauce. You'll see it down there also, that's in there too, okay? And again, if you have maybe one of your own homemade barbecue sauce, or a preference of another style from the store or whatever, just sub it in, okay? Just the same ratio that my recipe is calling for, okay? All right, so we're gonna add in our barbecue sauce. All right, so we have our barbecue sauce, okay? Then we want to add in our honey. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Our maple syrup. So we're going to add in our maple syrup. We're going to add in our Dijon Mustard. And again, I like the non-grain Dijon Mustard, okay? Okay. And we'll just give the bacon a little stir here. Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, and I just sort of kind of chopped up the bacon and that, and I'll just let it heat up. And like I say, just let it render off all that fat and that, okay? So back on the sauce here. So then we're gonna add our brown sugar. And all we want to do is just mix it up a bit. It doesn't really have to be really great, but just sort of kind of break down the brown sugar in that, okay? So we're gonna mix that up a bit. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. All right, so we're getting our bacon all nice and cooked up. And again, we just really want to render that fat down, okay? We don't need to fry crispy or anything like that. Just really get that fat out of the bacon, okay? Excellent, excellent. All right, so real simple with the sauce. Again, my barbecue sauce recipe is in there. Also, my Cajun rub recipe in there. I really encourage you, give it a try. You'll really enjoy it. A couple of things with my Cajun rub recipe is I substitute with pepper flakes instead of cayenne pepper. I find it's not as spicy in that, so I know a lot of people, when you think Cajun, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hot and that. I substitute those pepper flakes in there, and it really adds a really nice, a little heat, but a lot of sweetness to it also, okay? All right, our bacon is, oh yeah, excellent. All right, so here we go. We have our bacon all nicely rendered. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to just take a plate, paper towel on it. I'm just going to sort of pull out all my bacon, and all I'm trying to do is really keep that fat in the pan. You can use a slotted spoon, whatever you have. So now we're just going to throw our onions in and our Adobe peppers, okay? We just really want to get them all nicely cooked up in that. Now, in this recipe, I do put that Adobe pepper in there. I like that little spice to it. Absolutely, if you're not into it, no worries, don't add it, okay? And really all I'm doing is I'm just giving this a little saute out, grabbing with all the beautiful bacon in there, and then I'm just sort of kind of mincing up that Adobe pepper, okay? Excellent. All right, okay. So, just got my onions cooking away here nicely. Just give it a few minutes here to cook up. And really, I'm just trying to get that translucent to it, okay? All right, so I'm gonna add in my sauce now. Let's add our bacon back in again. We have our navy beans. Now in here, the recipe is actually equivalent to like 4 cans of navy beans. Just rinse them off in that. For dry beans, just follow the directions, right? So hydrate them in a salt water bath for about 24 hours, and then just pre-cook them a bit till they're soft. But if you just follow the ingredients on time. All right, so we're gonna add our navy beans in here. Get that mixed in here nicely. And then the last thing, you gotta have a good IPA beer. So my favorite is, I love the starter one from Four Fathers. It's just a wonderful IPA. Now, in this one, add whatever craft beer you like in that. And if you're not into beer, substitute with water, okay? So we got our beer in there, and we just want to mix it all up nicely. Excellent. Okay, so we have it all mixed up. We have all our ingredients put together. Okay, so I'm going to get that in the oven, do a little cleanup, and I'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, so we have our baked beans in the oven right now, cooking up. So let's go on to our next one. I don't know about you guys, but you can't have a game day without chicken wings. That is an absolute staple in my family on a game day. Gotta have those chicken wings. A couple little tricks to them. So when you're doing baked crisp chicken wings, to get them nice and crispy, there's a couple key things to it, right? One is baking powder. The baking powder reacts to the chicken wings, and that's what makes them crispy. But the other advantage of using baking powder is it doesn't have the aftertaste to it, right? So it just breaks down the meat and that and the skin and allows it to kind of cook and get crispy for you, okay? That's one trick to it. The other one is a rack like this with a baking sheet with a rack on top, so that way the air is circulating all around the chicken wings, okay? And that gives it that sort of, it gets that even crispiness to it, okay? But a key is a rack. You gotta allow it to go, heat getting all the way around it, okay? The other thing is, when you cook it, if you look at the recipe, we cook it at 350 for about a half hour. Then we crank it up to 450, and then we go for another 45 minutes. And that's really what gets them nice and crispy and that beautiful texture to them, okay? And the other thing is the sauce. Really, it is, it's a sauce that really, it's up to you. Whatever you like as a sauce. You can have them like they are. I like just a real simple French red hot sauce, very traditional, with butter, right? So it's a combination of butter, 50-50, so half butter to half of the French sauce, right? So, if you need a lot of sauce, cup to a cup, right? And it's just heat up the butter, melt it, and then mix in the French red hot sauce. And then when we take them out of the oven, we'll just toss them in that sauce, okay? And again, any sauce you want, go for it, okay? So for every 2 pounds of chicken wings, you need about a tablespoon of baking powder, okay? We got our chicken wings all coated up. So now we're just gonna take our pan. Now with your sheet, a lot of times I'll just spray with a little Pam in that. Just spray it, maybe just a little oil just so that it doesn't stick in that, okay? So this one's all ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna lay all my chicken wings on there and make sure like a little space in between. just to get that air sort of circulating all around it. And you know, I like just a combination of both of the wings and that. And again, for the wings, I got them at Cressman Meats. Beautiful poultry there with them. Go and see Jesse and that. He's got some great stuff there. These are just really amazing wings. Okay, so again, Cressman Meats. It's a great place for the wings at the market. Okay. And so we get them all laid on. All right, so we have all our wings laid on our rack and that. And then so what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw them in the oven at 350 for a half hour. Then we're gonna turn up our stove to 450 for another 45 minutes in that, okay? All right, okay, I'll be right back. All right, last one. You can't have a game day without a dip. You gotta have that in there. That is an absolute must, okay? So the one I wanted to show you guys today, and of course, for all my friends and family out there, you know I'm from the East Coast, I gotta throw some seafood in there. So I thought I'd share a Cajun seafood dip, okay? So in this recipe, I'm using my Cajun rub. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's down in the bottom, that recipe and that. And some nice shrimp I picked up from Cottle's Catch. So, this is a nice little dip. Starting off with this one I'm gonna do in cast iron pan, because what I want is I want to kind of do it all in that, and then I can just throw it right in the oven, heat it up, and then eat it right from the cast iron pan and that, okay? So, or any sort of pan that's oven proof, okay? All right. Okay, so we're gonna start off. I got some butter in there, heating up in that. I'm gonna add in my red peppers and my shallots, okay? And then I'm just gonna saute them up a bit. So while they're cooking up, we have our shrimp here. Now, one of the things I like to do with my shrimp is, I thought of, and I like to mix the garlic in with it, just add sort of a little more flavor to that shrimp and that. And I just sort of put it in the fridge, put all my chopped garlic on the shrimp and that, and then I, again, just put it in the fridge and that ahead of time, right? So just a little, you know, half hour or so before, okay? And it just adds a little flavor, that garlic in that too, okay? All right, so I have my shrimp here. Now, one of the things I like to do with the shrimp is, for this one, I'm just gonna cut them in half. So I'm just gonna take my knife, and remember we talk about good knife, hold that knife, and I'm just sort of going to cut this in half. Cut all my shrimp in half, okay? In this recipe. Now you can just chop them if you want. I like them cut in half. I like the pieces of them, the nice slices of this, okay? So we're just gonna take our shrimp, we're just gonna move our garlic to the side as we do this. And again, so I'm just sort of kind of cutting them in half. More here. All right. And again, just like I say, just, you know, cutting them in half. Remember your knife skills. And I got one more here. Yeah, last one. There we go. And again, I'm just going to cut that in half. All right, so we got them cut in half. We're sauteing these up. Oh, this is amazing. And again, we're just sort of kind of getting them a little sauteed, butter. Don't overcook them, okay? All right, so now what I want to do is I just sort of I'm going to move the onions. I'm going to move the peppers sort of to the side. I'm going to add in my shrimp, okay, with the garlic. And I'm just going to cook that just for a few minutes. Now, this is one where you really, you know, choose what you like to use as a dip. You use a nice nacho chip, maybe a pita, maybe a baguette cut up. You know, lots of different options for it, okay? All right. And again, so we're going to add a little seasoning to this, a little kosher salt, a little fresh ground black pepper. Oh. And again, we always talked about kosher salt. I like cooking with it. I find it's a sea salt base, right? So, and it doesn't take a lot. And again, I like coarse kosher salt. I find it's it's you can feel how much you're putting in there, okay? And again, remember we always talk about is season lightly, season until you get that beautiful flavor, okay? All right, so our shrimp is almost ready. A few minutes, okay. So I'm gonna get a nice little lemon, and we'll just cut it in the fours. And I just want to add a little lemon juice to it. Beautiful. Oh, you can smell the wonderful smell. Oh, it looks delicious. Okay, so now we want to add a little bit of our Cajun rub. And all I'm doing with this dip is I'm sort of building on the flavors of it, right? So we got our beautiful. Okay. All right, so next thing is we got our sour cream, we have our cream cheese. Okay, so in this part, now I'm gonna turn off the stove, and now I'm just gonna add all these next sets of ingredients, okay? Now I wanna add in the Parmesan cheese, so I'm just gonna add in half of it. Okay, and I want to add in some of those beautiful green onions. So I'm going to add them in there. And then I want to mix this in. All right, so I have them all mixed in. And then what I want to do is I want to keep some of those beautiful green onions for at the end, just to add a little on the top of that as a garnish. And then I just want to finish it off, just sprinkling the remainder of that Parmesan cheese on the top, okay? And there we go. All right, so we got it all set up now. And then all we're gonna do just before serving, we're gonna throw it in the oven and we're gonna bake it up so it all melts up real nice and serve it. And again, serve it with whatever you want. All right, we got everything cooked up here. We got these beautiful chicken wings here, nice and crispy, with a little Frank's Redhot Sauce, a little butter, tossed them all up. Amazing. Got that nice shrimp, Cajun shrimp dip, and we'll finish up with some nice, oh my, baked beans. They look wonderful. And there we go. We got ourselves some chicken wings. We got ourselves some baked beans. We got a beautiful little shrimp dip for your next game day party. Enjoy this recipe. This is lots of fun. Great little recipe. Hope you enjoy it. So to everybody out there, please stay safe. Remember, the Kitchener Market's open from 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. on Saturday. Go online on kitchener.ca/vendor to see all the vendors that are going to be at the market, and also check out if there's any protocol changes, okay? So to everybody out there, please, again, stay safe and see you real soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.